Picture this. You've started a new job any time since late 2021. New desk, new team, and something quietly followed you in the door, your old super fund. Since the stapling rules began, the very first fund you ever joined gets linked to you and travels with you from job to job, whether it's a good fund or not. And here's the thing, if you've never chosen a fund, that's not a failure on your part. Most people were never told this even exists, but the fund quietly following you might be skimming as much as $245,000 off your retirement. Today, I'll walk you through 3 simple moves. Check which fund you're stapled to, compare it, and fix it. Let me land the number for you, and let's do it 3 ways so you can see yourself in it. If you're a 25-year-old earning around $60,000 stuck in a high-fee fund, you could retire with roughly $245,000 less than in a top-quartile fund based on ASIC and Money Smart fee ranges over 40 years. On a lower balance, the gap is smaller. On a higher one, it's even bigger. But here's the part most people miss. The system was built to help you, and for a lot of people, it quietly does the opposite. So here's your plan. 3 moves, and none of them are complicated. First, you find out which fund you're stapled to. Then you compare it against better options. Then you fix your insurance and lodge a choice form. Each one takes you under 20 minutes, and every single one is free. First, let's understand the mechanism, because once you get this, everything else makes sense. Since the 1st of November 2021, when you start a new job and don't pick a fund, your employer is legally required to ask the ATO for your stapled fund and pay into it. The ATO links one existing account to you, so it follows you around instead of a shiny new default being opened every time you switch jobs. Now here's where it gets interesting for you. That rule stops you ending up with a dozen accounts, genuinely helpful, but it also amplifies the cost of a bad first choice. ASIC and Money Smart comparisons show my super products commonly range from about 0.5% to over 1.5% a year. Paying even 1 extra percentage point sounds tiny, but it compounds silently across your whole career. Now the second layer, and this is the one most people never think about. Stapling doesn't just lock in your fund. It locks in that fund's default insurance settings unless you actively change them. Money Smart points out this stops you paying duplicate premiums across multiple funds, which is a good thing. But if your stapled funds cover was set for the wrong job, you're now carrying that mistake too. Hold on, because what this costs you is bigger than it looks. Here's why it matters. If your default premiums are still priced for an old occupation, you could be quietly overpaying by a couple of $100s a year. And ASIC and Treasury both warn premiums can seriously erode a low balance. Take just $200 a year, invested instead at 6% over 35 years. That's around $26,000 gone from your retirement, purely to cover you didn't need. Authors estimate based on standard compounding. Let me clear up a belief that quietly costs people a fortune. A lot of Australians assume stapling automatically puts them in the best fund, so they never look. And honestly, that's an easy assumption to make. But the reality, per Money Smart, is that stapling only makes sure your existing fund follows you. It says nothing about whether that fund is good, cheap, or right for you. Your employer has to use it by default. They don't upgrade you. So let's stack the 2 costs together so you can see the full picture. The fee drag alone can top $150,000 over a career, modelled on ASIC and Treasury long-run fee studies. The mismatched insurance adds roughly another $26,000. Put together, that's well over $175,000 you could lose without ever making a single active mistake, just from doing nothing. Let me make this real with someone whose situation might feel familiar. Meet Emily. She's 27, a marketing coordinator in Sydney earning $70,000, with $35,000 sitting in one retail account she opened at 18. She's changed jobs 3 times since 2021 and never filled in a choice form, so every new employer just kept paying her old stapled fund. Here's what she found when she finally looked. First thing Emily found. Using the free Your Super comparison tool, she saw her stapled retail fund charges about 1.3% a year, roughly $450 on her balance, while a top quartile fund charges closer to 0.7%, about $245. That's around 200 tenders more this year alone. And over 38 years, that odd 0.6% gap can quietly grow past $150,000, modelled on ASIC and Treasury fee studies. Now here's the number that surprised her even more. The second thing she found sits on a completely different layer. Reading her insurance PDS, that's the document that spells out exactly what you're covered for, Emily saw she was paying around $320 a year for cover priced on the casual hospitality job she'd had at 18. A policy matched to her current office role would cost closer to $180. That $140 difference, invested at 6% for 38 years, is about $18,000 modelled. And the third thing she found is the one that really stings. Her latest employer's default is actually a strong industry fund. And over the past decade, good industry funds have beaten weaker retail ones by around 1 to 2 percentage points a year after fees, per regulator and review summaries. But because Emily never lodged a choice form, her employer was legally required to keep using her old stapled fund instead. So let's add it all up for Emily over her whole career. If she stays stapled and does nothing, she lands at around $700,000 at 65. If she switches now to a lower fee, better matched fund, she gets to roughly $880,000. Modelled, that's about $180,000 lost, purely to inaction. Not a scam, not bad luck, just a default she never questioned. And the good news is, you can question yours today. So, could this be you? Let me give you 3 quick signs. 1. You've changed jobs since November 2021 without ever choosing a fund. 2. You honestly don't know your fund's annual fee or how it ranks. 3. You haven't checked your super insurance since your last job. If even one of those rings true, the next 3 moves are exactly for you. Right, 3 moves. Let's actually do them together. Quick note first, this is general information, not personal advice, so weigh it against your own situation. But every one of these is free and takes you just minutes. Move 1. Find out exactly which fund you're stapled to. Log into MyGov and link the ATO, then open the Super section to see every account you hold and which one your employer is actually paying into. Cross-check it against your most recent payslip so you know it's the live stapled fund. And while you're there, flag any forgotten accounts quietly draining fees. Here's exactly how you do it. Log into MyGov and link the ATO if you haven't already. Open the Super section to see all your accounts. Then match the active fund against your latest payslip. What good looks like for you? One main fund that you deliberately chose, not whatever happened to be stapled to you at 18. Move 2. Compare your stapled fund against better options. Open the Your Super comparison tool. It's backed by the ATO and Treasury, and it's completely free. Look up your fund's total annual fees in real dollars and its net returns over 5 to 10 years. Then line it up against the top low-fee My Super products so you can see the gap in black and white. Here's the how. Open your Super and search for your current stapled fund. Note its total fees and its long-term performance ranking. Then compare it with 2 or 3 top performers. What good looks like for you? Fees around Zarut's beats 8% a year or lower, and performance sitting in the upper half over 5 to 10 years. Move 3. Fix your insurance, then actually choose your fund. Download your fund's insurance PDS to see your premiums and occupation category. Compare it against an alternative, then complete the ATO standard choice of fund form and hand it to payroll. From that moment on, every future contribution flows to the fund you chose, not the one you were stapled to. Here's the how. Download the insurance PDS and check your premiums and cover. Compare price and cover with one or two other funds. Then lodge the ATO standard choice form with payroll. What good looks like for you? Premiums proportionate to your balance, cover matched to your actual job, and a fund you explicitly chose. Why act now rather than later? Look at how we got here. In 2019, the Protecting Your Super reform started tackling fees and insurance eroding low balances. On the 1st of November 2021, the ATO began stapling existing accounts to people, and through 2021 and 2022, the free Your Super tool rolled out. Powerful, but only if you actually use it. Stapling locks in your first choice until you act, and that gap compounds every single year you wait. So the best day to do this is today. Once you've acted, here's how you'll know it actually worked. You should see your chosen fund appear on your next payslip. Confirm your new fund actually received the employer contribution. And if you switched, check your old account has been closed or rolled over, so it isn't quietly charging you fees in the background for years to come. Everything I've shared with you comes from the ATO, ASIC's MoneySmart, CPA Australia, and major super fund guidance. All the links are in the description below, so you can check the numbers against your own fund and see exactly where you stand. So if you've made it this far, you now understand something most people in your situation have no idea about: how stapling quietly locks in both your fund and your insurance, and the 3 moves to escape a dud. The single best thing you can do today is log into MyGov and check which fund you're stapled to. It takes about 5 minutes. And if you want to go deeper, next I'll show you how to read the Your Super tool and spot a dud fund in 5 minutes flat, so you know exactly whether yours makes the cut. I'm Alex, I'll see you there.